NCRP Productions presents Unhallowed Metropolis, Secrets in the Sands, Episode 43. Hi, this is Barry, and welcome to Unhallowed Metropolis, Secrets in the Sands. I'm going to go around the table, and then we'll get started.
Hi there, I'm Jill, and I'm playing Raya, the Mourner.
Hi, this is Matt. I'm playing Dr. Ayden Samir Carter, who specializes in basic medicine and antiquities.
Remember, he is now a doctor.
He is a doctor. He's an honorary desert doctor.
Hello, I'm Michael. I'm playing Dr. Everett Wolfe, the doctor specializing in alchemy and chemistry.
Hello everyone, my name is Ty. I'm running Ray Callahan, our pugilist.
Hi, it's Sequoia, and I'm running Frankie the Undertaker.
Hey everybody, it's Pedro. I'm running Dr. Desmond Wright, the one who gave out doctorates.
Apparently, desert doctorates.
Yeah.
All right.
You all don't want one yourselves. You best be on your best behavior.
So, last episode, we had a lot happen without going a whole lot of distance, but the end result was this. We have the group split into two parts. We have Dr. Wolfe, Marude, Cal, and Abrax, one of the Bedouins from the group, the second group that you guys pulled from, heading back to get water, something, a dear commodity that you guys are running short of because of the two missing camels. Mm-hmm. The rest of the group is still here at the main camp. This includes Bess and Ra, Zosser, who is the second of the Bedouins from the second party, who is staying in tent with three broken ribs and a cracked one. And then additionally, you guys have May Ling and Arthur Billings that will be there as well. Now, Billings originally was pushed back and forth. Some of you tried to get him to go to get the water. Some of you tried to get him to stay. Very interesting. Last episode, we had the group consensus push for Dr. Wright to collect blood to see if we could figure out what Billings was, because everyone seems to believe he's not just a man. Additionally, we had Frankie's belief that Marude is a werewolf, or Thrope, or something.
Frankie's knowledge of absolute certainty.
I don't care, Barry. I know whatever amazing roll I made, it's just I need one more.
One more.
Like, yeah, no, he's a Thrope.
We just need to do a test comparison against Dr. Wolfe. Everyone bring the sample. Well, obviously none of them are turned to gelatin, so clearly no one's a throw.
If somebody stabs Marude, he'll thrope out. Who wants to bite that ball?
Who wants to stab Marude for absolutely no reason?
Well, I have reason.
Look, this is for science, Barry.
This is for science.
Let's not have another person turn into a throat.
So you admit it!
Jill knows.
So it is morning, and as you guys have been wont to do, what you will do is go out in the early morning where the heat is starting to come out, and you're just dealing with the sand and grit that moves through the air, but not the extreme heat. You have maybe about 5 hours before it will get to the point where you will go and hide and cover back in the tent. One of the things that Abrax had asked you to do is to have somebody check on Zosser throughout the day, making sure that he had water, because that is going to be his most important commodity. Mm-hmm. The camels, I assume, are not going into the city with you. So at this point, my understanding is you guys are going to be on foot heading in. So let me start with...
I did that once. Just once.
So I'm going to start with the group that's heading in. So missing Wolfe, Marude, Cal, and Abrax. The remainder, what do you guys decide you're going to do?
Well, my plan was to take him to the main temple / house of take him to the main I'm sorry, brain dead here. Take him to the main palace.
So the main palace. So you're looking at going to the palace structure.
Right.
All right. So the group heads out. Is anybody not going?
Before we... So how far away will we be from... I forget. Who's the one who got kicked?
That's Zosser.
Zosser. How far will we be going from Zosser? Is it plausible to come back and give him water at midday?
It will be. The entire city from one end to the other, not the expanse of it, but from the north end to the south end, is approximately 6 miles. So it's well within the ability for you to come and go.
I figured that we would go check things out and then come back before the sun got hot.
Okay.
And we could check on him then.
So he would be 5 hours if everyone left. He would be 5 hours without people if everybody goes.
I really don't like it when you say it that way.
Is there somebody
We
who
can-
would
Don't
be
worry,
willing to
he's got
stay with him?
camels to keep him in company.
Right. Well, that's the question.
We can-
If you guys want to leave somebody back, you can. I'm trying to give you the facts. You're looking at roughly. You have about 5 hours.
I'm not staying.
We could have somebody just come back after 2 or 3 hours.
We could just leave like a doddering old fool who's also a demon.
There is no reason that Billings is not going to want to go into the city. Since you guys had the back and forth, where he was originally going to go with the crew that was going to go get water, and then was returned back to he's going to come into the city. He has every intention of going into the city.
Yeah, if we're going to be just... Okay, I think that's fine to leave him then.
Actually,
I'll give medical reasons why it's okay. I'll make it sound pretty too.
oh, that sounds wonderful.
Wolf's too distracted to refute it, so
Well, Wolf's probably not even here at the
Yeah,
moment
yeah.
to refute it.
so it's like, all right, before
So,
Wolf gets here.
I have a whistle, so I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to say if anything happens, just start blowing on that.
Is it quiet in the desert? Is that plausible?
It is fairly quiet out there. There's
Almost
not
like a
bird
graveyard.
noises. There's not a whole lot of bug noises like you would
Wait.
hear in, say, the Amazon jungle. There is that constant pelt of grit and
Right.
sand, but on the tent it's going to make a noise maybe like rain. But out as you guys are walking, it's not going to make a tremendous amount of noise except on Ray's face mask, which is bronze.
Is he like unconscious?
Brass. No.
No, so we could put a water skin by him. And
Oh
he'd-
yeah.
Okay.
The issue
Okay.
is if he runs out, not that
Gotcha.
he can't feed himself.
Okay, understood.
Right.
All right, yeah. So no problem.
Injured ribs suck, but you can do stuff with them. There's really not much you can do to fix them other than bandage them and just take it easy until they heal. They really suck. They really, really suck.
Well, here's the other question. Is he armed at all? Should we leave?
He has a sword or something,
Yep.
right?
Yep. I was waiting for someone to mention that, but yeah.
He's got 2
All
arms.
4 of the Bedouins are armed.
Okay.
They are not carrying guns. The only Bedouins that you guys have seen carrying or brandishing guns were the ones at the cistern. That's the only family that I believe that was the Jakar family. The rest of them you have not seen, not that they couldn't have them, but you have not seen them brandish them or carry guns like you guys carry guns.
Oh yeah, Frankie's good with leaving this guy.
As
Okay.
long as he has water and he's armed, he'll be fine.
He's within the tent. The camels are near him. So, all right. So my question would be this. We are going to head into the Northern Palace. What is everyone's thoughts of what you're looking for, what you're trying to figure out? And I'm just going to go around the room. So for Raya, tell me what you're doing heading into the environs for the next 5 hours.
Well, I'm making sure that we don't get ambushed by ghouls or
Okay.
anything like that, so I'm going to be watching out for that. But I'm also going to be, helping to dig or explore what we're looking for, and I'm also going to be keeping an eye on Dr. Wright because he's nothing but trouble.
Okay, and I'll come back to one of the questions I want to ask you, but Ayden, who should be, as far as I can tell, the de facto leader simply because of where we are, but Ayden, what are you intending for the next 5 hours?
Like they would listen to me. I am going to go in first, and I'll always make sure I'm first leading them, have them take like a couple feet back, and I'm going to be looking for any potential booby traps or signs of like danger, either like animal signs or undead or even anything that just looks like it's not good.
What are you looking for aside from the basic stuff?
Well-
I'm assuming everybody is on desert survival level, knowing that there are Shadem here, knowing that there's poisonous animals like scorpions, that type of thing. that's less of what I'm curious about. But
I'm
I
looking for
appreciate
stuff
who's on
like,
watch.
oh, look, why is this floor got this unique pattern? Step. Oh, look at all the stuff
right.
that comes flying out.
I really didn't know about the scorpions. Barry.
Okay.
Giant marbles that come rolling down. Things
I'm
things
pretty
of that
sure I'm
nature.
not okay with scorpions.
You know, snakes. Nobody likes snakes.
Nobody likes
What I'm also going to do is I'm going to have my kind of compass and my little personal pad of paper and a pencil and my light that May Ling adjusted for me, and I'm going to look for anything that might be like something, because I have some basic science, so I know like high energy will sometimes affect magnetic, so I'm thinking if there's something here that emits lots of energy, the compass might spin, or hopefully the light will go out, like my theory.
All right. Ray, what are you doing? What is the plan for 5 hours? You've been on...
Probably carry all the heavy stuff.
You've been on digs with Ayden. You've been on trade missions with Ayden over the last, what did we figure, 3 years or 8 years? I have both in my head.
I'm saying 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah, 8
so for
years.
the past 8 years, you've done, most of that time, you've done these kind of things. So is it just bodyguarding, similar to what Raya's doing?
Yeah, it's pretty much be on watch, carry most of the equipment, and basically watch everyone's back.
Okay.
We're kind of out of Ray's expertise.
Sure. Well, sure, other than, basically following orders, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but following orders from Ayden.
Yeah,
So,
do
all right.
what Ayden tells me to do. That's pretty much what I'm
Gotcha.
doing.
Frankie.
Constant vigilance.
Okay.
Hopefully I get to fight something cool.
Oh. So you're looking for a fight.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
something like really exotic and interesting. And I would definitely be like conversing with Marude and Cal are with us, right?
No, Marude and Cal are with
Oh, they're the water team.
Dr. Wolfe, yep.
I'm very bored. I'm angry. I'm just hoping that
May Ling and
something-
Billings are there.
like a giant scorpion or something, or like some kind of like sand, like snake.
Sand Snake. Okay. All right. Well, then that leaves us with Dr. Wright.
Okay, one, I definitely am going to be up to some bullshit. Well, no, I mean, my overall mission is to find some kind of clue towards the magic orb that's going to end us all.
And on that direction, my question is really, what are you doing to, I guess the question is, find it?
Well, find drawings and then have Ayden translate them.
Okay.
I mean, that's all I'm here
So
for.
your searching is really to find the cuneiform, the hieroglyphs, the artwork, the whatever you can find, and if something matches a symbol you're looking for, ask Ayden to tell you what he knows of it?
Yeah, and then also, of course, looking for anything that could help me in my long quest to kill a few people. Not you.
We're so...
Not you yet. Not you.
So just to kind of give you what, as game master and the person perceiving the world as a whole, it sounds like we have 3 people bodyguarding just openly and directly, and that's really it. One of them specifically looking for a fight. And then we have one person who is looking for drawings, and the other one who is trying to make sure that in addition to being on guard and safeguarding, you're looking for traps. So then it's going to fall, I'm going to let you guys know, it's going to fall to the 2 Bedouins who I don't believe really know what they're there for. I mean, in general, they know that they're there as a deal to introduce you to other groups, to keep you wary of the things that they are aware of, because these are Bedouins who have made the trek all the way, and when we say down the Nile, we are heading towards the source, so really it's up the Nile. Down the Nile would take us to the Mediterranean Sea. So they have traveled up.
I would tell the Bedouins to just hide out, or not hide. Take a seat in the shade, keep an eye out, make sure nothing
So you
comes
want
up
them to be
until
on
we
watch and
need
guard
that.
as well.
Yeah, I mean, and just rest until we find something we need digging done.
So then that leaves us with May Ling and Billings. Oh, so you're going to use the Bedouins as
Well, I'm going to
Sherpas.
help dig. Sherpa. Yes, I'm fluent in Sherpa. I figure I'm going to. It's not okay, you 2 dig. I'm going to sit here and drink this glass of lemonade. Ooh, that's cool. Nice in this weather.
Your
Watch
bright
the
white suit.
Yeah, I'm going to they helping them, but they should rest because that's primarily why we're here. I'm also going to tell everyone, look, if you see me running, please try to keep up. Okay.
All right.
I'm an excellent runner.
So as you guys start heading towards what we call the North City, what was described to you, and this is the best part, you don't have either of the Bedouins that were supposed to have brought you here. So situations are what they are. Heading into the North City.
We'll figure it out. It'll be fine.
You guys will
Yeah.
almost immediately come to the North Palace. There are a number of rooms, and for anyone other than Ayden, for the rest of you, what you're seeing is reasonably unimpressive. Okay? We have, as I said last time, no more than one wall in a group of 4 that's bigger than about 3 to 7 feet. If you have a wall that's that big, potentially the other 4 walls have been broken down to almost nothing. So as you guys are moving through, it's not as easy to see as Ayden will say, oh, look, this looks like this. This looks like the palace room. This looks like a shrine. This looks like the throne room. This, on and on and on and on. So moving through, the first thing that you guys are going to come to is the royal family's quarters. Now, I don't know how much anyone is going to ask questions, so I do not want to roll over you guys. If you have questions that you want to ask Ayden, give them to him. I'll try and stop my exposition and give you that chance periodically. But we move to that area, and Ayden can tell you, as you guys look around, this room here would have been the main sleeping chambers. Now, for any of you, if you're not going to ask, you got to wonder, how does he know it's a sleeping chamber and not something else?
At this point, I'm just looking for anything useful. I mean, if there's no art on the wall,
There's
or
no walls.
writing on the... then yeah, I don't...
There are few walls. So, Ayden, as you come into these places...
Oh, I was going to say how I knew it was
Also, Frankie would have asked.
the sleeping chamber. Because, you can tell, like, there's the steps raised up to where his bed would be, and then you can see there's the room, much smaller, to the left where the queen would be, and then over here, the much bigger room, which is where all the concubines would be.
Actually, in the case of Akhenaten, this is one of the big ones, he had one wife.
Yeah, he was no fun.
This is where the concubines would go if he
Had any, right. As you can clearly see, he turned this into like a guy's room. Just
The man cave.
the man cave.
No, this is his personal study. It's where he can contemplate, really.
So,
Would he have kept important objects or artifacts in his sleeping chambers?
I bet those would have been looted a long
Probably
time
looted.
ago.
I mean, we can look in there.
So one of the difficulties that you guys do have is you guys have years of time where the Bedouins, and this is their birthright. It sounds like we're suggesting that they've done something criminal or evil in doing this, but this is how they live. The Bedouin tribes will go into these different areas and they will pull stuff out that they feel like is going to have a saleable value. Not everything is for sale. You guys did learn that with Akbar, with his desire to get back, I believe it was the war axe. Mm-hmm. Was that what it was? It was the axe.
The warhammer.
It was the warhammer that he asked for back.
Well, I had an axe.
I thought it was the axe. I think the warhammer
You
is
had
still.
a hammer, I thought.
I think the warhammer is still on your camel.
I have a maul. I don't have
That's
a
what it
warhammer.
is. The maul.
No. I don't have a maul. I have a morning star. I have a small thing.
Then I had them all.
You had a maul.
You had the maul. All right.
There was no axe that I remember.
Terrible. Michael, the one who remembers everything.
So, Frankie had the maul, but he gave that up.
Yeah.
And Wright had, it was like a hammer.
I thought it was a warhammer also.
Yeah, you had the
Do
it
I
was a
have like a little
warhammer.
And to
warhammer?
my knowledge, it's still on the camel.
Yep.
Okay.
As far as I know, Wright has not given that up.
But as I was starting to
Or
say...
revealed that he has it.
Yeah, it's
Right.
wrapped up.
What I was starting to say is, and you guys do see that they are not negligent of their history. Akbar wanted that back because it is, for some reason, connected to his tribe, he said. And he didn't just willy-nilly go around asking for everything. It was very specifically that item, didn't ask for anything else. And if I remember correctly, he endeavored to make a very fair trade for it. It wasn't that he simply demanded you to give it.
Frankie got a full cross.
Yeah, there seems to be a reasonable give and take. So, as you come into the area, the 3 vigilant people, I'm not going to have you roll, but I don't envision that you guys are doing much more than kind of taking 3 directions and looking out. Of the 3 of you, which is Raya, Ray, and Frankie, are any of you playing games with walls, corners, that type of stuff? In addition to being vigilant of something outside, are you checking for lack of a better word, traps, secret doors, pits, that kind of thing? Are you messing with the floor, messing with what walls that are there?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
staying behind everybody and letting
really
them
boring.
explore areas first.
Okay.
I'm not going into an area until one of them goes into it
Okay.
first.
Well, Ayden has made it clear that he will always go in first.
Perfect.
In fact, he tries to hold everyone else back.
I'm looking for like mummies a little bit, like in the back of my head. I'm like, maybe they were right on the Penny Dreadfuls. Some of the other stuff is right.
Okay. All right.
It's time to
Ray?
harness pyramid power.
I mean, I think especially he's definitely looking for some way to go down. Because
Okay.
I feel like anything at ground level is going to be picked over by Badawin.
Looted
So,
pretty severely. Okay.
as much as Ayden is a specialist, I've found a couple things on occasion that he's missed.
I
So
like that
I'm
idea. So, Ray, I'm going to have you give me a wits perception roll. So, where we are, just so that you guys can have an idea, is this is what Ayden has laid out to you as being the Grand Palace. This is the sleeping quarters, he believes, for Akhenaten. Give me a roll.
That's not bad. That's a 17.
Okay. So, I will come back to you, but you get to a spot where you're walking, and you clearly pick up with your ear a different sound to a step.
Cool.
You have to move quite a bit of sand to get down to it, but you have it. Oh, excuse me. So, Ayden, as you're moving about and looking at things, go ahead and give me... Yours will not be a wits perception. Yours is going to be... Oh, I'm going to have to say history because I don't know any other way to do it.
Okay.
You have, in your antiquarian abilities, you have an ability, if I remember correctly, that allows you to add another thing to a roll.
Yes, I can add my... well, I have a couple that do that. So I have Wisdom of the Ages. I can add my history rating to an intellect general knowledge test.
Okay.
I have Cabinet Curiosity. I can add my appraise rating to an intellect research test.
Okay.
I have Cracksman. I can reroll failed safe checking rolls.
Okay.
And then Screwsman, which is lock picking rolls, same thing.
All right. So it's the first one. So what I'll have you do, because it sounds like you would end up with a better roll, I'm going to have you roll a general intellect roll and then adding your history to it.
Oh, okay.
I think that overall score will be higher.
Yeah, that'll be 19 total.
Okay. Raya, go ahead and give me a wits perception roll. Basically, I'm going to have you... You're going to cross pattern on where Ray is just to see what's going on.
Just a quick question. Do I add my intellect to that as well?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So
That's
then
what
it'd
intellect
actually
rolls.
be 22.
22.
19.
So within 19, you're going to see Ray is messing around with the floor as opposed to looking out. We'll get back to that in a moment. So what you'll see, Ayden, as you're looking around is you believe that somewhere in here there should be at least one, if not two, recessed places that should go down. Now, your expectation is they will have been looted. But go ahead and give me a wits perception roll, just a straight one, as you move around the floor looking for it. So, Ray, as you are pulling back the sand from there, the floor does not look any different. And the floor basically is just stone. It looks like carved stone. What are you doing once you get down to stone?
I mean, it sounds silly when I say it out loud, but I'd probably just jump up and down on it a couple times.
Okay. So
hearing it.
You are very confident as you make that jumping noise that it is different under this stone than it is under others.
Okay.
All right, and you do see that, Raya, so I don't know what you would want to do. You guys have taken, for me, not cardinal points because there's 3 of you, not 4, but you've taken opposite edges for guard.
I would alert Ayden that we think we found something.
I got essentially a crit, the 20
All right.
on the roll.
So-
not even with the perception, it's 23.
So as you're looking around the environs, the critical roll's like, hey, it should be, what's Ray doing?
Okay.
He's right in the same spot you would expect that to be.
All right. I'll head over there then.
And
See-
Raya then tells you, hey, Ray... Oh, you already know. So as you guys get there, you're able to pull the sand, because it's not that much. And if you ask, Bess and Ra will help you guys move sand either by hand or by foot. You have a good portion of the floor cleared. The floor pattern is made of stone, does not appear to change in any way. But when he taps on it and says, hey, look, this is what I found, it makes a different sound. Not hollow.
Okay.
That would make no sense on stone, but a different sound under it.
All right. I'm going to take out my little small, like, archaeology knife, and I'm going to start, like, clearing around the edges, see if there's some way to get it loose. Or
So as you start moving, you can get down only so far, and as you move all over, this is maybe 10 to 15 minutes of doing this, there does not appear to be a difference in each of the spaces that you're going.
Okay.
So is it like a single stone that I'm stepping on, or is it like a...
It seems to be a patterned stone, but you don't see any way that somebody could have made the entire floor from a single stone. But the stones that were used fit so securely that you do not see a seam between them.
So I'm going to take some water,
There we go.
and I'm going to kind of pour over it and see where it, like,
All right.
disappears to.
So as you pour, very, very limited amounts, and of course immediately both Bess and Ra will be looking at you and then catch on to what you're doing. You are able to find spaces where it happens. Now that you can get your knife in, you can trail around it.
Okay.
So here's the question: how are you going to get it open? These are big pieces of stone. Your knife will not support that lift.
Do we have a crowbar or anything like that?
Frankie, go beast mode.
Do I even know what's happening yet?
If you'd want to ask, you certainly can. Right now, what you see, just for you, the other two people on guard and the two Bedouins are all focused on the ground.
Yeah, I'm looking outwards.
Exactly.
So I'm going to pull out my crowbar.
You have a crowbar this
I
year.
do.
Interesting. All right.
And I figure it's one of the bigger ones, not
Sure.
the, like I'm going to, like...
Right.
And I'm
It's
gonna,
something more like 2.5, 3 feet, not the little tiny ones.
Did we
Right.
not bring any actual digging equipment?
no, I brought tons of digging equipment.
It's all in the camels.
Yeah, no, we were under the understanding that Ayden was bringing it all.
Yeah.
I thought that's why I was here. I was supposed to be carrying the digging equipment.
Nobody asked.
Well,
But it's not like you are miles away from the camels. Right now, you are probably 1,000 feet away from the camels.
so I'm going to give him the crowbar,
Okay?
and I'll point to where he should put it in there and start lifting
So
it
go
up.
ahead and give me a strength roll.
Vitality?
Vitality roll.
Okay.
Ayden, are you sure there are no traps?
That's 20.
Reasonably.
Okay, so he is able to get a good hook in it. As he pulls, everybody that's standing around it can hear as small stones crack and crunch. He gets it up about 3 inches, and there is a hiss, and it looks to you, from what you guys can see, like some kind of gas has escaped. There is a color to it.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I thought you were going to say sand snake.
We are looking for sand snakes, so I'll let you know when that happens.
Did we check for dune worms?
So at this point, now that you guys have been here long enough,
You've been doing a
Billings and May Ling come over.
Well, I was going to say, what color's the smoke?
You think it has a blue tint to it.
Interesting. All right.
That's fine, right, Ayden?
Yeah, so it's not the horrible thing where he pulled it back and it whoosh went up in his face.
Right.
And you guys, again, everyone's wearing gas masks.
Everyone, just take a couple steps back for a few minutes. We'll just let this air out.
Okay.
Alright, I guess I'm gonna kind of wedge the crowbar so it stays up.
Yep.
But
And then wedge back and
and
step
then step
back.
back.
So as you guys watch, you'll continue to see little tendrils of blue smoke come out for maybe 10 seconds. Billings looks at you and says, "What do you think it is?"
Can I roll alchemy to see if I could think what would possibly be making blue gas?
Sure.
It's the souls
Wait,
of the
roll these
lost
ones.
pharaohs that have been lost in the underground
It is in fact the souls of.
Fun fact: Smurfs decaying corpses makes a wonderful poison.
15.
So with a 15, you're assuming that it is some combination of gases that were locked down there, hitting new oxygen and potentially heat. It is possible through that much stone that they have maintained a lower temperature. Not freezing by any means, but definitely a lower temperature. That immediate quick change in temperature could create it. The blue to the smoke, you're not sure. There are a number of impurities that are represented by different elements that would give you blue. The big one you know is copper. A smaller one is cobalt. In both cases, you're not certain why that would be there, but it doesn't seem out of place. It doesn't seem supernatural or mystical to you.
I probably just wouldn't smell that closely, but it should be fine.
So
Yes, because that was my first instinct.
I'm gonna take.
Well,
I'm gonna
Ray,
take
that's not
the
a good
block.
instinct.
Gonna wrap a rope around it, kind of thing, secure it,
Okay?
and I'm gonna grab the other two Bedouins, and
So you guys are going to try and wrap rope. So
Yeah.
it's not that easy. What you got to do is you got to get him to lift. He can get it up, and then you're basically wrapping the rope around the single stone. You guys are going to pull back. It's not like you're going to pull it clear. The hope is maybe to change it from being horizontal to vertical.
right.
All right. So go ahead and give me a strength. Go ahead and give me a vitality roll. Add 5 to that roll, and let me know what's coming up. And then Ray, are you holding with the crowbar to keep it up so that they've got purchase?
Yes,
Or-
I am.
All right.
Wouldn't it be easier just to get the pickaxes or something?
Um.
Or are we
That-
really that pressed to keep it preserved?
That's a great question, Ayden. It will destroy it.
I feel we should try to preserve some of it, but
Ah, you're no fun. I'll keep it held up.
All right, give me your roll. Give me your roll. So Billings and May Ling come over. Billings is very excited. He says, "Ayden, as you're rapping, he says, Ayden, do you believe there's much chance that there would be anything intact in there? I mean, are we going to see possibly treasures? Even a mummy?"
I'm gonna turn and look at him, sweat kind of pouring down my face, all red. And I'm gonna be like, "Help! Pull!"
So Billings will come in and take a piece of the rope and pull with you guys. Whether he's helping or not, there's no easy way to tell. But he seems to be straining with it. May Ling will watch what's going on for a little bit. As you pull back, she will, from a distance, she'll kind of take an elevated look in, and then she'll turn on a torch that she has, which apparently is not galvanic, and clicks on, shines down, and then clicks off, and walks over to Frankie.
This might sound stupid, but do we have batteries?
Nope.
Then how the fuck did she...
Yep.
That's a very good question.
I'm keeping my eye on her. I don't trust May Ling.
I'm gonna
the thing, she
nudge the
controls
two,
lightning or
and I'm gonna
whatever?
point
Yeah,
to the
she controls
lantern
lightning.
and say,
You know what? Out of the way. He could control Billings.
Oh no.
"We get it moved right to the side."
You
I got
guys get
14.
it pulled to where it's coming up. With what was the roll?
14.
That's with total
I forgot how much you said the
Plus
bonus.
5.
Oh, that'd be 19 then.
19 and
I got an 18.
all right. So you guys are actually able to jockey it. What I was looking at was the possibility of you turning sideways, and falling into the hole.
Right.
You guys have it jockeyed up to where it's gone from a horizontal to a vertical position and looks pretty wedged. Meaning you probably could get it to tip back over, but it would be some work to get it just simply fall on its own.
Okay.
So
Now
what?
I'm actually going to look at Ray, say, "Lantern, please."
Lantern.
And I'm going to light that up, kind of get it going.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to kind of look down into the hole, look around.
Okay.
Is there sand down there?
Yeah, as you look around, there is plenty of sand that over the ages has fallen in there. In fact, with your thinking, that cracking sound was effectively the grit building up as you work between the stones. So a lot of the sand has come down. This, when you just open now, but some portion of it has probably fallen down there throughout the ages.
Yeah, sand's annoying like that. It gets everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Um,
So May Ling comes up to Frankie and says, "So, are you very worried about what we're going to deal with out here? I mean, it looks dead everywhere I look."
Well, May Ling, so far nothing has killed me, so I'm not very worried. I am certain that between myself and Raya and Ray, we can overcome any foe that we find.
Very good.
Are you worried?
I'm concerned. Everybody always seems to be on edge when we get into places like this. Remember when we went into the pyramids, there was just that discomforting feel, and once we got inside, I felt like everything was simply dead. In my upbringing, I began in China, and a number of the places that I went there had tombs and temples, and walking through them, there was a life to them, almost a moving life. Here, I don't feel that. I don't see it here like I see it in my home.
Have you had chance to visit any of the cemeteries in London?
There is a vibrance there as well. Not necessarily good, but yes. And when you say many, no. But the couple I've been in, you feel something. London, though, has a feel, doesn't it? I mean, I have to believe that. And at this point, though it's not out, she is looking down at your chest where your cross would be under the shirt.
Gotcha.
And she says, I'm certain that you would feel something. There's something about you, Frankie. What brought you into this line of work?
I feel that as many Undertakers, probably our stories began the same, with a loss and an effort to make sense of that loss or stop others from experiencing it.
Was it a who?
My mother.
Your mother.
Many, many years ago.
And are you a Londoner yourself? Were you born there? Your mother was there? Or were you brought there?
At this point, I'm more Londoner than anything else. I going back to what you had previously said, London and I don't know about China per se, but London is newer than Egypt.
Oh, very much so.
Maybe the spirits here just been resting for longer.
It's an interesting thought. I mean, if we think in those terms, they would be harder to wake. When they awaken, they might be harder to put back to sleep.
Well, hopefully not.
All right, so for the lantern, as you shine around down below, there is plenty of sand down there. In addition to that, you can definitely see two skeletons, portions of skeletons, not full and complete, but looking around, you can kind of see the majority of the bones, like something's been locked down there. Aside from that,
we got dead folk down here.
With that lantern shine, you don't see a whole lot else. It looks like there is more space down there than simply a small room.
All right.
And so just outside of game, so before we were on the floor of this room, and now there's something underneath the floor of where he would have slept.
So in most cases, I'm going to use the air quotes, but in most cases that the buildings you are going to go to are either built directly on what we would qualify as ground level, and it's not perfectly even, but ground level throughout, or raised, which most of the temples would be, raised at some level. Okay. The bigger, more important the temple or the palace, the higher it might have been raised. So though this is ground level, the chances are that you are standing on a completely raised area of possibly one or two. And I want to say levels, not stories. If I say 2 stories, there's an implication of how tall that would be. Sure. But 1 or 2 levels. You don't know much about Egypt, but you can definitely tell as you look farther into the city that there is a slope that does not match the land around it.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, gonna undo the rope around the block.
Yep.
Tie it around my waist.
Yep.
Hand it to Ray.
Okay.
I won't drop you like last time.
That's an accident. It's okay. Things happen. And I'm going to jump into the hole.
So what are you setting yourself with? Are you standing freeform in the middle of the room?
Is there like a pillar or something around?
There aren't. That's why I'm asking. You are in a room. At the edge of the room, all the way around, are some larger and smaller stone blocks.
Frankie, you mind giving me a hand for a second?
I'll look to Raya to switch, and then, yeah, I'll head over.
Okay. So the two of you guys set and hold in free form?
I'm certain that there's a technique, and that we would probably know it. I just don't.
Okay. So, well, you may not. That's the whole thing.
I'll assume Ray knows how to lower
So the
someone.
question is, do you guys lower him, or do you effectively drop the rope and he climbs down it?
Is the ladder not a thing? I thought
What
there was a ladder somewhere.
I don't
There's
know.
no
He
ladder.
said ladder.
Oh. So I think... Oh, good question. Can we lower the lantern first to see if we can see anything down there?
Already done.
And there's no
Looks-
visible
There's some bones and
bones.
things. All I just need you is one of you to hold it, and I'll tug it in case there's an emergency. I can jump down there.
Distance does not look that far. Maybe 10 feet.
Okay.
Maybe 12
Then
feet.
we'll put the
Okay.
rope down, and then if
Yeah.
he needs help, we'll help him out.
Alternatively,
Yeah, I'm just gonna jump down,
Okay.
do my acrobatics thing.
So go ahead and give me the roll.
This is a super cool flip.
Hopefully there's sand down there. Hopefully
There
it's
is sand down there.
Hopefully it's not too compacted.
16.
So the
break your
16,
ankle on sand.
he makes the jump down. You guys set the rope once he's down there. When you hit on the sand, you might skid a little bit.
Yeah.
You're down there. You guys going to hand him down the lamp? Because you did not jump with the lamp,
Yeah,
correct?
no, I did not jump with the
All right.
lamp.
I lean down, hand him the
All right.
lamp.
So at this point, nobody else is in there. Is anybody else looking in
Oh, absolutely.
besides
Oh,
Billings?
I'm gonna get in.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm looking.
Billings will actually get down on his hands and knees because everyone's around it. And he seemed to, like everyone else, he stepped back when you said, let's give it some airing space. But now that you've jumped in and everybody else is close, Billings gets down on hands and knees like a child would and sticks his head over and is looking the same as you. And you hear a couple of whistles and a my word.
I'll look over and I'll say, "Is it safe down there?"
Just give me a couple minutes to check.
As soon as I feel like he's safe, I'm going down.
So you're doing the same thing, jumping down?
I'll give him about 45 seconds.
45 seconds. All right. So
To Frankie, that's 3 minutes.
Keep in mind that the block that we've opened is basically, if two of you were to jump in, not Ray being one of them, any of the rest of the two of you were to jump in, if you jumped in at the same time, you're going to just clear the edges.
Okay.
So currently, Billings is leaning over a portion of it. So, and then the other question is jumping in or leaning, hanging down from the side and dropping in. Those are very different things.
I would... well, the rope is down. I would probably just slide down the rope.
Okay, so Ray is going to set the rope, and actually Bess and Rob will come over since there's that going on, and we'll set the rope as well. So, Frankie, go ahead and give me a coordination roll going down. And so, Ayden, as you scan around, it is a fairly large chamber. There are maybe, as you made the scan, there are maybe 6 skeletons in here.
Nice.
2 right in the area where you saw them, but there are lumps at distance that you're fairly certain are also. Nothing is moving down here, but as you shine the light, there's tendrils of whatever is coming up, and the slight wind that now blows in here from up top is starting to make the whorls pick up down here. Frankie is now down with you.
Hello, Frankie.
Do you still have the rope tied to you?
Yes, but I'll probably undo it now that since you jumped down here.
And so Billings says into the hole, are we to come down next?
Not yet.
Give me a second. I'm going to walk over to the closest skeleton. I'm just going to see if I can figure out how he died.
Okay. For the people up top, Billings pulls back from the hole, goes over to May Ling, and very openly is excited and says, This is so exciting. I can't wait to go in. Maybe we could leave this open. This could be one of the tourist stops. A real, honest-to-God tomb. You hear that up top.
Right.
It's not a tomb.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to say anything about that. But
Actually, from underneath, I'll be like, it's not a tube.
And
so
I'll respond and say, a bunch of dead people. It's not a tomb?
No.
Dr. Wright.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Honestly, there's not a lot. So, It sounds bad, but if I don't see anything, the only thing I'm really doing is making sure, one, May Ling's not going to try any more bullshit. And two, since Cal and Marude are not here, the only person that I'm looking for an opportunity against is May Ling.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's all I'm doing. I'm waiting for something to happen.
So I'll give you a direction. Are you, with the walls that are there, looking around and slow looking, but trying to find
that's pretty much all.
symbols
Yeah,
and stuff? So go
doing
ahead and
that.
give me a wits perception.
Sure, let's see if I see anything.
So for the bones down below, go ahead and give me a medicine. Yeah, a medicine. And
Wow.
if you don't have medicine, give me an int roll.
Well, I'm glad I just got that degree.
I was gonna say.
Well, Barry, have fun giving me some information because I critted.
Oh, wow.
So I got 25.
With a 25, as you are looking around, not in this. Now, again, remember, we're in effectively, think of it as a house, a really, really, really big house. But in the next room, you can see, if you go there, you're going to leave the room that they're in. You will hop down about maybe a 2-foot drop, so fairly small, and there's a larger wall that has something on it, which as you come closer, you're starting to look at symbols. Now, what I envision is that you're going to go through them to match, looking for something along the lines. Now, my
Sure.
question is, you have the rubbings.
Yeah, journal out and then looking at the things.
What are you looking for? And I'll be specific for you. Are you looking for a collection of the symbols that match nearly exactly what you see here? Are you looking for symbols that are the same as the ones you see here, not necessarily in order, just if there's an A and you find an A on the wall, you're like, ooh, there's an A there. Or are you looking for it to be A, B, C, D in exactly that order? Or are you just looking to see if A, B, C, and D, any of them are on that wall? Or something else?
Pictures, yes. If I see any matching pictures, that's one, like the drawing.
Well, the beauty of the hieroglyphs is, and that's all you're looking at here, is they are pictures in themselves.
Yeah, but I mean,
there's not a relief.
That's
or,
what I'm looking for.
Yep.
Otherwise,
fresco.
yeah, then just in the same order, because otherwise it's all just little pictures.
Okay. All right.
13.
14?
13.
13. So with a 13, it looks to you like this one and the one near it, one of them's neck is broken,
Uh-oh.
and the other one looks like it was holding its chest. The arms have fallen apart. The chest itself has broken ribs in the center around the sternum area.
Okay.
Now, they could have dried and broken away, but the broken neck, you're reasonably confident, was put in place, again, 13 not exceptional, was put in place before. So the broken sternum might be post-mortem.
All right.
Might even be post-skin.
All right. I'm going to go try to find it. Go over to one of the other sets of bones. Take a look there.
All right. As you're walking away, Billings says, any chance yet, Ayden?
I'm working. Give me a few.
How big is this space?
So the space under here, as you are looking around, you're guessing it's about 30 feet by maybe the same, which is slightly larger than the space above.
Do I see any, like, doorways?
No.
Is this an enclosed area?
Everything looks like a wall within the confines of the light that you have, which is just the light coming here. Where Ayden's lantern is shining, you do not see any other doors.
Ayden, wasn't this place, like, razed to the ground by some other pharaoh from another time? Or is that the last place we visited?
No, that happened here.
Well, then, couldn't all those skeletons have just been killed by, like, the soldiers that came?
Quite possibly, but I need to look at a few more just to be sure.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna walk around, like, the edges of the room and see if I, like, push on the walls, if there's any give, if I hear any kind of, like, whistling.
Okay. So, hey, you were going over the other skeleton. What are you looking at with that?
Once again, I'm going to see, like, what the cause of death was, kind of thing.
So, oddly,
Also, just quick question. So those two skeletons were close. Is there another skeleton close to this one?
No.
Okay.
No. The rest of the skeletons are at distance. So, oddly, this one has not the same, but a similar broken pattern in the chest.
I think it's probably safe to come down here.
Alrighty, get in there, Billings.
So Billings will look at you and say, You have the rope?
I got it.
And he slides down the rope. He is fully using the rope. May Ling goes almost immediately after. Once he has struck ground, she goes down.
Does Billings know how to Does he do full professional rappel
No,
or
no, he is gripping the rope so that he does not fall. He's not incapable.
All right.
I kind of wish you had said yes. It would have made Billing a little bit more interesting.
The Australian crawls
Yeah,
down.
he just
Well, if we're all curious about Billings, I'm kind of like watching him. It's like, does he know how to?
Billings
okay, he
just
does.
goes complete vertical, walks down the side.
I would also have accepted. Oh my word! And
It's like that's kind of what I was expecting.
yeah, that's what I was. Yeah.
Ray, if you want to come down here as well, there's a hammer and some pitons in the bag.
All right. How does that help?
So basically what he's telling you is, hey, we're not going to destroy anything, but go ahead and grab 2 big spikes and crack them into this floor to tie the rope around.
Oh, I was thinking more of the wall.
Well, what you were thinking and what I was thinking are different
exactly.
things.
Before he leaves to do that, I'll climb down the rope too.
Okay, so now Raya is down.
Good, we're all in the hole.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Not me.
Everyone but Ray so far, right?
And me.
But I meant as far as the guard crew. So are you going to stake out the rope?
Yep.
Okay.
So what you're saying is Dr. Wright is alone.
As of right now, you guys really left me alone.
It's Dr. Wright, Bess, and Ra
Oh,
are the only ones up top.
All right, let's play a little game. Click.
All right. So
called
that
emergency
is
surgery.
everyone but Dr. Wright.
Yep, Dr.
Where the
Wright.
hell is
Bess-
Dr. Wright?
So
Right?
down there, Billings gets
Right.
down there, and you hear that coming out.
Yeah.
You're in the next room. You just start sounding off your gun.
So Billings is moving around, not running around like a stupid child.
Right.
But he is moving from point to point. It looks like he is endeavoring to see without the lantern. There is minimal light down here. It is absolute pitch black except for the one square that is somewhere around a 3 by 3 foot square. 3 by 3 foot square. Maybe it's more like a 2 by 3 foot rectangle, but that general size. Everybody is moving around in that near darkness except Ayden and wherever his lantern goes.
once I realize that Ray's the only muscle outside, I will recognize that he probably knows a lot more of what he's doing down here, and I'll offer to switch with you.
Well, Ray's already come down, so...
Oh,
I haven't come down yet. I'm
Yeah.
looking for Dr. Wright.
All right. So as you finish the last piton and you're like, okay, so I know they're all inside. Where is Wright? You'll notice that Wright is in effectively the next room, and he is moving around what portions of the wall there are. He has a piece of paper. I'm going to call it a scroll because of the rolled up aspect to it, but he is now using the scroll and looking at the walls in here.
Dr. Wright?
Yes.
Ayden says it's safe to go down. You want to join us?
We'll have fun. Don't get bit by anything. I mean, I could help you, but it's quite an inconvenience.
Alright.
Why, did you need something from me?
No, I don't need anything from you. I don't want anything from you.
What was that? I
Nothing.
didn't need anything, but there was
Nothing! I didn't say anything. Hey,
well,
Bess, Roth, you guys good up here?
just to let you...
We will take care of here, yes.
Okay.
if you want, I do have a couple of pills of Watcher in case anybody needs to see better down there.
What was that? I can't hear you. Go down the rope.
All right. Go ahead and give me a vitality roll. If you're going down the rope, give me a vitality roll. If you are hanging and dropping, don't have to worry about it.
Oh my gosh. 24?
All right. So not a problem. You Australian crawl it down. All right. So down there, most everybody is wandering as far as I can tell. So Ayden, after that skeleton, where do you go next?
Well, in my best museum curator voice, I say, be careful as you walk. If you step on anything and you hear a click, do not move your foot.
Does everybody envision that they heard that? It's a very slight echo in here.
I didn't hear nothing.
I heard that.
Barry, the bodies, are they wearing any garments or armor or clothing?
Whatever they had on them appears to have fallen away. There are very small pieces of cloth that are still left. You're guessing some kind of woven cloth. They probably had brighter colors. In fact, when Ayden's light shines around, if you're picking any of them up, you will be able to see that they were brighter colors.
Do any of them have head wounds? Like,
Are you continuing? You went to the wall. Are you
yeah,
gonna leave the wall?
that's first.
All right, so let's hold on the wall
Okay.
with that question.
Are there any weapons on the floor beside the bodies?
You do on the two that are there close to you that you can fully see. No, unless you go catch up with Ayden, you really don't have the light to do unless you put your hand down and feel around.
So my next thing is, are there any torches on the walls or anything that looks like an oil thing for lighting down here?
Well,
or
actually,
lamps?
I shook my head no, but let me ask you this. So are you at this point doing the searchlight where I'm going to run the lantern through the entire area?
Yep.
All right, so you start that. Frankie, once that light crosses where you're at, you have found what appeared to be some kind of an alcove. It was a darker space in the dark, moving towards it. As soon as he shines to it, you realize that it is an opening, but very shallow. You would assume, knowing who you are, you would assume it's some kind of a large closet. Again, completely open, but a large closet. And the light goes past. As you get up to it, I don't know if you're going to stick your hands in a dark hole.
Well, May Ling came down, right?
May Ling is down, yes.
I would summon her over.
So she'll come over to where you're at. Billings comes with her slowly, sees her there and follows. But she comes over and she says,
And I would just,
Frankie.
I found a closet, and will you shine your light on it?
So for a moment she stops, and then you hear a click, and it's a very odd orange bright light, and she shines it up, and what you have approximately 4 feet deep. You have the bottom level. There is a stone shelf, and then a stone shelf, the whole of it is about 4 feet tall. There are a total of 3 spaces. There is the shelf a foot off the ground, and then a shelf 3 feet off the ground. There is nothing in there but dust. Maybe some sand.
Will you come with me while I make the circuit of the room? I'm looking for entrances.
Yes, of course. And so for everyone in there, you're seeing there's an orange light moving around with Frankie and May Ling and Billings, but then there's also the lantern. So as you run the lantern around Ayden, there are 12 of those alcoves, which Frankie was at one and was looking in one. In addition to that, there is something on the far wall from where you came in, which would be on the side. It would be on the side of the shrine for the bedroom.
Okay.
And there's something there that's a discoloration of the wall.
All right, I am going to head over there.
All right. So as you get over there, you're going to notice that there is a full set of writing in it. So go ahead and give me, and this is not going to be a fast thing for you, but go ahead and give me your intellect, history, that thing. Basically what I'm doing is your Egyptology stuff is going to fall into that total collection.
Can I add language to that too?
No.
Okay.
No, that's the history bonus. For anyone else, I have Frankie and May Ling and ostensibly Billings looking at the little alcoves. Ray, what are you doing down there?
I am standing next to Ayden.
All right, so you're just moving with Ayden as he goes.
Yeah.
Raya, what are you doing?
I was looking at the bodies.
Okay. So, sadly, the light keeps playing over. You do not see a head wound in them as you get there. If you stand, because he continues to move the light, you can kind of check them out. You will notice the same thing. You won't notice the broken neck, but you'll notice of the 4 bodies you've seen, 3 of them all seem to have damage to the chest, around the sternum. They're not identical breaks, but there was the one body that did not have that problem to the chest.
Okay.
All right. Ayden.
I got 20.
All right. So let me get back to you. So, Frankie, you and May Ling look through all of the closets, the alcoves, whatever you want to call them, the storage areas. None of them have anything in them.
Okay.
They are all empty as you move around the room. But they are all around the room. They're, except for on one wall, there does not seem to be any consistency to them. I don't know if you have a speculation of what they are.
No, but I would ask May Ling if she has any guesses. Are they just storage?
She says, what I know of the Romans, and that is not to say Egyptians and Romans are the same, what I know of the Romans is they would have a necropolis where they would keep bodies. Now, why you would put them below your sleeping chambers, I'm uncertain, but that would be my simplest guess. Aside from that, possibly storage of histories. I would not put anything of value in these. There's no covering.
You think the bodies down here were like prisoners?
Oh, I wouldn't think that. No, I'm thinking like the dead.
Oh, but they're not. I mean, they're all kind of strewn about, right? They're not in orderly lines.
No, there's no. Yeah, they're. That's what I'm saying. Is these little alcoves are just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, and so I'd like turn my attention to the bodies, and I would say, can we look at the skeletons now?
Oh, certainly. And you guys go over to the skeletons.
Yeah, and I'm looking, or the animates. Are there any evidence of
There's
someone...
no suggestion looking at... So one of the things that I refreshed myself on, animates have a change in the jawbone.
Okay.
So somebody like you or like the doctor would know that. And no, none of them seem to be animates.
So that means either they didn't turn into animates, which is super rare. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not everybody.
Yes, and with this importance, the current plague that is taken over the world over the last 200 years began approximately 200 years ago. You don't know if there's been animates the rest of the time, but this covered the planet. These skeletons potentially have been here 3,000 to 3,300 years. Actually, I'm thinking from today, they would have been there 32 to 3,500 years.
Maybe they never even... I mean, we think they're old, right? Ayden, how old are these things?
I'd guess about 3,400, roughly around there.
They never even had animates then.
Well, I don't know what you people. I don't know what you and your fellows are actually looking for. I've caught little bits and pieces, and if I understand it correctly, then you do believe there were animates at some point in Egypt at this time. I don't know why. If you'd like to tell me what you know.
They don't tell me a lot of the big stuff, May Ling. I mean, all I really know is I'm supposed to bring one back from here.
Bring an animate?
Yeah, I got a big case for it, don't worry.
So you can see that she doesn't look like that's a good thing. She has not a living animate? I mean, an unliving animate? I don't know how you say that. An animate that walks?
Yeah, that's the goal.
You're to bring an animate from Egypt. Any animate? I mean, we've had this them the whole time. Are we looking at capturing one of those and bringing them onto Arthur's ship? And Arthur at that point looks over and says, "Wait, what?"
Well, obviously we wouldn't capture one until we were about to leave, and it's a very good trunk. I spent a lot of money on it.
So wait, now Arthur. Wait, your intentions are to bring one of those creatures onto the Zeppelin? I don't think that's safe.
What are you worried about?
Escape? Infection?
Look, I'll sit on top of it if it makes you feel better. I'll take full control
I'm
of
not
it.
sure I think it makes you feel better. I believe it could bite your butt. If your behind were bitten, you would turn just as simply as anyone else.
It's gonna be in a locked trunk, Billings.
Yes, but couldn't it chew through the trunk? I mean, let me tell you, I was last night as I was perusing a couple of the sources that I have, Dreadfuls, of the sources that I have, there are a couple of instances where the animates were able to chew through stone wall.
I'll take its bottom jaw off. Guess I could take the top.
This would make you could see that Billings like that kind of clicks into place. He says, well, all right. If you and you can still see May Ling's face. She's watching kind of this ping pong of you and him and you and him. She doesn't look like she's getting any more comfortable with it. But he says, well, I guess if you were to do that and we're able to set it in place and we're able to sit on it for the ride back, I think that would be fine. May Ling just kind of has no look on her face.
I love that he thinks he has a choice.
I love the fact that May Ling's trust in this group is just slowly growing less and less as things go on.
Well, and what the fun thing is, on the other side, the group's trust of respect, concern, whatever the word is, the feeling for May Ling is going down as well from the group.
Consensus: everybody hates May Ling. That's a good thing.
I'm not so sure that's true.
That's not even remotely true.
I'm glad everybody is on the same page.
I like May Ling quite a bit.
Yeah, I
Evil
don't.
witch.
I don't hate May Ling.
So, Ayden, as you are starting to go through this and you're reading it, there are passages. You said again it was score
20.
20 even. So, as you're reading through, there are passages from the Book of the Dead. So you're fairly certain that this was some kind of a burial chamber. Okay? That's initially some of what you're reading.
Okay.
Some of the other stuff doesn't make sense. Reaching the disc in the sky kind of trails off. And again, it's because you don't have a context to pull them back. There are a couple of the hieroglyphs that look like something, but also look like something else. What you need to do is you would need to take the time to compare them to other stuff. In everywhere that you go, there are slight differences. It's like if everybody at the table here was to write the word happy, they would all look different. Except here you're doing it with carving tools. So it looks dramatically different. So at this point, if you want to make more sense of it, it'll be something you're going to write down and bring.
So I had a question. Is this a painting on the wall, or is this an actual...
Nope, this is carved.
Okay, so I'm going to pull
They are
out...
light carvings.
I'm going to pull out some paper and my charcoal, and I'm going to take an etching.
You realize if you were to do rubbings, it would take more paper than you probably carry.
Dang it. All right.
I mean, obviously it is worth taking a rubbing or two because of the shapes. But after that, you might take time to draw if you want to.
Well, what I'll do then is I will kind of quickly write down what it says, and the characters I don't understand, I will take a rubbing of them.
Gotcha. So one of the things, if I remember correctly, you knew this or you were told this, the look of the city of Akhenaten, the art changes. And it is very stylized and different than everything else that was in Egypt at that time, both before and dynastically after that point. So it is very possible that it's not something new, it's just being done in a different way. Think calligraphy versus cursive, potentially. That's one of your thoughts.
Okay.
But it's a fairly extensive writing on this wall. And again, this wall faces the shrine. Okay? So I'm going to step back for a moment and go to the group that is heading to the spring.
Well,
give me one moment.
Yep.
So you guys, Wolfe, will head out. It is a run on the camels, and Cal is able to communicate with Abrax enough that Cal will tell you, okay, so what we are doing is we are going to ride at speed.
All right.
Do your best to keep up. If you have any problems, Doctor, I know that you are still healing. And Cal takes a moment after saying that.
Yeah, and there's even like a slight wince at that with
Right.
like Wolfe on that one. And like,
But if you are concerned that you are falling behind, please don't hesitate to shout out. Marude and I will keep watch as well. So boom, you go. And when we're talking ride at speed, you're riding. So, do you have ride?
I do not.
All right. So I'm going to have you simply give me a coordination roll.
I did very well, actually. That is... Sorry, let me do my math. 20, not natural.
Wonderful. So as you're holding on and going, it's a good ride. The camels will hold this speed for quite a while. On the ride, Marude periodically takes a turn out. He will either go, if you're going in a straight line, he will either go to the right or he will go to the left. He will oftentimes go to a point where you lose sight of him as you're watching and looking forward. Most of your focus needs to be forward and on the camel and what you're doing. But periodically catching him, you'll see him dart up a hill or come back down across the back side of you. As you guys finish that first roughly hour to hour and a half ride, the camels are brought to slow. And Abrax pulls back to where you guys are effectively walking almost in a group of 4. Abrax speaks to Cal, and Cal then tells you in Marude, so we are coming up on the water area. He is going to take a ride down with Marude. I will stay with you, Doctor. And once that's done, we will go in and collect the water. And then we will need to wait for evening before we leave. So at this point, it's just staying out of the heat. The cave that we stayed in, we're going to reuse that cave.
Well, hopefully the insects have moved on since then.
That's the reason we are looking. And boom, Abrax and Marude ride down in. The two of you are now plodding camels towards it. They come back up from the slope, come back in and say, and Marude says, we will continue. It looks good. And you'll go in. As you guys bring the camels into the area where you stayed, you guys are filling water skins. Marude says, I shall return. Leaps to the camel and rides up and out the other side. You guys finish filling water skins. Every so often, Cal looks that direction.
I'm looking that direction too because I have no idea. At a certain point, Wolfe will go over to Cal and go, does he often?
No, I wouldn't use the word often, but he does do things. Doctor, I would say the easiest thing is he has a sense of things. In our travels, he has gotten us out of so many things that I didn't see or feel or hear. So I trust him.
I admire Marude in a lot of aspects. And there's a moment where Wolfe pauses and he sort of rubs his face and he looks at Cal for a moment and goes, Cal, I know my condition is a frightening prospect, and believe me, it's maybe more frightening to me than it is to the rest of you in some aspects. But even before this happened to me, Marude was watching me on the airship home, on the airship here. I never got a chance to really ask him why, or if anything. It's never really had an opportunity to come up, but did he ever tell you that I was a danger before this?
Oh, no. No, I don't. I can't tell you what he may or may not have seen, and I don't know that he ever would, nor may he ever tell you, but he would be fairly clear if he considered you a danger. He would at least warn you of that situation. And were you to consider directly to cause harm, he would have done something already. The incident in the canyon, I don't think anyone saw that coming. I don't believe he did. You feel that his eyes were upon you on the Zeppelin before we even crossed the Mediterranean?
Yes.
I don't have a problem with you, Doctor, so I will let you know this. I will ask him and see what I can get from him, what I can glean of his thinking.
And Wolfe rubs his eyes for a moment and goes, I appreciate your candidness, Cal.
Doctor, is it painful? One of the reasons that I chose to go with once I knew you were going was I am very curious. A horrific happenstance was put upon me, something that changed me physically in so many ways. But it was not the same kind of horror as I believe you're going through. I have never seen, forgive me, I don't mean to be rude, but I have never seen anything like what's happening to you. If I count correctly, it has been more than 4 days and none of your wounds have closed. Forgive me, they look worse.
And Wolfe is just rubs his eyes and goes,
It looks like it is about to crack when you do that. I wish, I do. And he will pull out a small mirror, roughly a 4-inch by 4-inch mirror, and Dr. Wolfe, just slowly do that again. You will see what I see.
Yeah, and I'll start to.
So as you move it, what you see is the skin looks leathery, like somebody who's been in the sun and the wind, but it has almost a crack to it as you push and release. The cracks release, but it's not wrinkles. And Cal is right. Even to you, it does not look good. Doctor, it's as I said, it's not getting better.
No.
Did you, and I'm aware of the incidents that happened in the canyon, does all of this, well, does it make sense to your knowledge as to what's happening? Is this a syndrome, a sickness? Do you or does Dr. Wright know what's going on? Dr. Wright seems to be aware of something. Has he given to you an inclination as to what that might have been?
The only thing, here's what I know, and this is, as I've explained to a few people so far, is what's the term? The cat's out of the bag now, as it is. I wasn't trying to become a throat. That was not my intention.
You mean in the canyon?
That and my condition.
I'm trying to?
Let me explain.
Let me at least ask this. Are you suggesting that you did this to yourself?
It's not a suggestion. It's a fact.
And Cal's mouth just closes. Cal is staring at you.
My theory is that evolution is the course that humanity needs to take in order to overcome this blight. If we can adapt to a point that we can exist, if we can evolve to that point, then we can overcome everything. That's how humanity has, at one point or another, started to spread across the world, make these towers and everything. I believed alchemy to be a catalyst to jumpstart us that direction, and many people believe that the Thrope serum, the true serum, was the path towards the Philosopher's Stone. I do not believe humanity should be immortal, because then mortality means stagnation. That does stop. Evolution is a constant moving thing. Things need to die.
I understand your thinking.
But there were certain aspects of the Thrope serum that seemed to make sense in that direction. It did grant immortality, to at least as long as you were not killed by it. But it made one immune to the blight. It made one physically stronger, faster. It did cause a problem with the intellect, but maybe there was a way to figure around that. My research was an idea to try and take ideas of it and kickstart our evolution, be the crucible for it. I thought I had made that. What I had made, by complete accident, I had recreated the true serum.
This is what you believe?
Well, it's what I did believe until fairly recently, when I got here. My physical body has changed, not just with this, but muscle growth, mass. My reflexes have increased dramatically in ways that wouldn't be possible. It's unheard of in a thrope. Even a thrope needs gradual exercise in order to achieve such things. The night we faced that creature, that Bonagal entity,
Yes.
I changed from being someone who with a sedentary lifestyle to a professional athlete to the point where I was able to lift things Marude was able to lift.
We noticed that. We wondered for a very long time if you had been possessed as well, but it has stayed with you. It appears to be a permanent condition. Doctor, forgive me. I know in more polite company this wouldn't be something I would speak so directly on, but your polydactyly, the 6 fingers that you have on each hand, is it familial? Did your parents, mother or father, have it? Did your grandparents on either side have it?
It is a recessive gene, polydactyly. My parents did not have it. If it was in my family, it was further down the line.
Okay. Do you think possibly... Now, forgive me. I have neither your degrees nor anything like Dr. Wright's, but I have spoken in enough circles amongst things like the Explorer Society. Do you think it is possible that the serum working on your difference had an effect on you that it wouldn't have had on anyone else? Is it possible that instead of creating the true serum, you created something else that worked with your specific body change?
And that's what I'm wondering.
Deformity. I'm sorry, I don't know the right word.
The thing is, if I did, whether it's my own genetics or whether it's because I did something to the serum where I thought it was the true serum, but really it was what my intention was, just twisted in some perverse fashion, it could be either.
Camel hoof beats start pounding down the canyon to you guys.
I would like to discuss more if you're willing to, Cal.
I'm not sure what, and at this point you
Yeah.
hear Marude say, "Mount up!
Yep.
Ride! Ride!" And we'll end right there.
Okay.
Oh, that's the most aggressive I've heard him talk in a while.
Yeah, true.
Thank you for listening to another NCRP Productions podcast. To stay on top of everything we're doing, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook, all at NCRP Productions. You can show your support and help us continue to produce content by joining our Patreon. We offer additional podcasts like our B-sides and have GM materials, maps, and other fun things you can discover over time. You can find our podcasts on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, and many other fine podcast sites. Just look for us at NCRP Productions. We value your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to leave us feedback or comments. And if you would like to contact us directly, you can email us at ncrpproductions@gmail.com.